As you can see, the line cord comes straight in, and there is no fuse, no overcurrent protection of any kind, but there is like an isolation coil, and there's no fuse on the AC primary of this unit. This is a 3-head cassette deck. It's a very expensive one. Okay, so we'll start with unplugging the power from the transformer there. Squeeze in, get the little tabs to go in there, pull the cord in. Okay, so we'll bring our cord in. We'll just look how it's seated in there. And we'll just cut the little bit of the jacket here so we can pull the wire out. Okay, so we'll have to use a X-Acto blade here and just very carefully, without nicking the wire, tear away a little bit of the jacket there. And I'll do the same on the white side, being careful not to nick into the insulation at all. And I didn't, so I'll just keep pulling back. Make sure I don't put tension on the wires up here. I'm just pulling on the below the where the wires are. So I got enough to come up, go to my fuse, and come back and go into this. And I'm bringing quite a bit. There we go. And I'll cut this off so it's even here. Make sure I don't cut the wire. And then just make sure I have enough, and then just set that in here. If that's going to be enough. Okay, so I'll just clean up around the edge here without cutting into the wires at all. Okay, so now we can put our cord back in. I'll slide it in like that. I'll bring it back just to here so that the insulation is just coming in. And squeeze it down and close it like that. In like that. Hear it lock in place. Okay, we can plug this back in. Now we can make sure our wires are going to be long enough. So I'll cut one about right here. Okay, so the white we can tie up with a zip cord here. Okay, so I'll make sure this is all nice and even here. My zip tie in the middle, so it looks neat. Tighten it up. Flip it off so it's even. And I'll fold it back over here so it's out of the way. And that stays plugged in there. Okay, so here is our fuse block we're going to put in. We're going to take the sandpaper and just get where we're going to be soldering to, kind of roughed up a little bit so we get a good solder bond there. This side. Okay, we'll strip our wires here. I'll strip them a little bit longer than what we're going to need because we'll clip slightly off the end after I put the block in. I'll take and twist the strands together nice and tight. Put some flux on them here. And I just tin them with a little bit of the solder that's on the iron there. Okay, I'm going to clean my tip. Okay, so you're mounting to that hole here. So I'll take and put some flux on my wire here. Put some flux on my block on the top and on the bottom. Okay, I'll put the wire into the hole like that. I'll take my pliers and shape the wires so that it sets in the hole the way I want it. I'll put some solder on my iron here, and I'll do what's called a drop solder. There's a nice solder joint on that side. I'll flip it over. It doesn't look really good on this side, so I'm going to put a little more flux down here, put some more solder on my iron, and I will try to fill the hole in on this side too. So I have to reheat it again on this side to get the wire up where I want it. There it is. Very nice clean solder joint. Nice full solder. Just let that cool a bit. I'm going to turn it over, look at the other side. It's all nice and full. Okay, I'm going to take some more sandpaper and I'm going to do a little more sanding on this side because I don't think I got this side as good as I got the other side. So I'm going to do a little more sanding so I get a better flow through on this side. Okay, there's a nice flow. Okay, I'll take my solder, flux. I'll put some flux on this side of the block. Again on this side of the block. We're using rosin flux here. You don't use acid on electronics because it can corrode and eat. Eat the terminal and the wire. There we go. Oops, it didn't fill right in there. There it is. Let that cool a bit. I'll turn this over and look at the other side. The other side didn't fill up good, so I'm going to heat this side again. I'm going to take and put a little more flux down in here. Put some more solder on my iron. And I'll heat this up on this side again. There we go. Now we got a nice full solder joint on the back. I'm going to let that cool. I'm going to turn it over. Look on this side, we got a nice full solder joint. Now we have a little extra wire sticking up right here, so I'll just clip that off. There it is. and this can mount down. Okay, I'm going to bend these terminals up a little bit now that we're done soldering them, and the block is going to be mounted right there. And I want to show you why I'm putting this fuse in. See the filament in your house fuse, and see the size of the filament in this fuse? While it's taking time for this to blow, it could be overheating the transformer, it can get the line cord hot, and it could possibly short out on the outside of the cord and spark and catch a curtain on fire. But with this fuse in it, it will blow long before the power cord gets hot. And what could cause the shorting and the burning up of the power transformer and overheating is if this rectifier goes bad, or if this power capacitor goes bad. That could short out the primary windings, and then it will overheat the primary windings and the secondary windings, and it will start drawing a lot of current, and then it could start melting these wires. And if it melts on the other side of the cord here, it could short out and start a fire in your house. Okay, now that I'm done soldering, I'm going to tin my iron, and I'm going to unplug it. And now I can proceed to mounting the block on the chassis inside here. So we put a screw down through here. We'll put a nut and a washer on the bottom side here. So I can get my block straight there. Now this is a much smaller screw, so I'm going to use a smaller screwdriver here. And I'll tighten it with a different size screwdriver here. Okay, the block is nice and straight. And make sure it's straight here. I'll put a zip tie on the wires here. I'll go around everything here now. Okay, now that we're done with the soldering, I'll clip off my temporary one here on the white wires. You always want to put your fuse on the live side. let's get this lined up here so it's all centered and looking neat. Tighten it up. And I'll put this out. And just push this over so it's the screws from putting the top back on doesn't hit anything. And we'll put our half amp fuse in here. And to finish it off, we'll take and put a little Loctite on that screw. That's if I can get the cap on. Now this is called Loctite, and it will just keep it from loosening up and things like vibration in the house and expanding and contracting. Okay, there is a nice close-up of it all done. So now there is overcurrent protection for fire prevention, but always consult an authorized service center before doing any alterations like this, because if it's done wrong it can start a fire or give you a shock. And there is the front of the unit. It is the Sony TC-KA1esa. Thanks for watching.